I'm standing here with Deveraux Cannick, chairman of the Mount Vernon Democratic City Committee, longtime Mount Vernon resident. You heard Mount Vernon Mayor Clinton I. Young provide his fourth State of the City address. What were some of the highlights that jumped out to you?
I think the highlights were really the subtleties that I think Mount Vernon residents have missed out over in the last 3 years. The thing that the mayor highlighted that I think that's so important for the community residents to understand is that in his first term, he's addressed the infrastructure of the city of Mount Vernon. Our infrastructure has been in horrible decay, and it's so hard for folks to see improvement in infrastructure. You see a fire truck go by, you don't know that that's a new fire truck. You see a sanitation truck go by, a sweeper, you don't know it's a new sanitation truck or a new sweeper. You just know that the job is being done. You weren't not aware of the fact that the ones that were here for all these many years were constantly in disrepair. We had fire trucks that could not reach the second floor if there was a fire emergency, and I'm very pleased that the mayor's administration came in and aggressively addressed our infrastructural needs.
Now, with all the development projects going forward, some that were stuck in political quagmires, for some way, somehow, the mayor was able to break them free. How does that sound to you in terms of his accomplishment of turning some very tough challenges into significant wins for the city?
You know, I think people go about business in different ways in terms of trying to make sure they get the job done. The mayor carries a stick, but he uses a soft pedal at the end. The mayor's style is very unlike mine. I think in terms of trying to get some of the things done, I probably would not have been as effective because my approach is to go head on and deal with the circumstances. If someone is standing in the way of progress, I'm going to go and deal with that person and call that person out. Whereas the mayor, I think, realized that, you know what, if I don't have consensus, let me build consensus. If I don't have a coalition, let me build a coalition. And I think that speaks to his leadership.
Speaking of leadership, you heard the mayor talk about crime being at an all-time low. You heard him talk about how his work in coalition was able to save Mount Vernon Hospital. You heard about all the wins that he was able to deliver for this community. One of his main collaborators is Vice Chairman of the County Legislator, Lyndon Williams. Can you speak to some of the collaboration in terms of how good it is to have a working relationship with the county and the city?
I think that they're a dynamic duo. I think that without Lyndon Williams' aggressive and effective means of bringing the bacon home for Mount Vernonites, the mayor would not have been able to deliver on the hospital, Memorial Field, the 4th Street Park. I think that Lyndon goes up, he understands the mayor's agenda, and he works diligently to make sure that he brings home the bacon until we can get those things here in Mount Vernon.
So going back to where you began, the mayor over his first term addressed all the critical infrastructure needs. He put in place service improvements. We heard about businesses, small businesses that are coming online to put the city hall online 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. What would it mean for the mayor or Vice Chairman Lyndon Williams to not be here for another term? What would that spell out for the city?
I think the mayor's theme tonight was we've come too far to turn back now, and I think that the city cannot afford to not have the mayor and Lyndon Williams leading us over the next 4 years. I think that given these dire economic times, we have a situation where most cities are falling behind. Mount Vernon is making enormous gains, and they're making those gains because these guys have been very savvy in terms of being able to take advantage of this economic situation. Lyndon Williams is a JD CPA. He understands law, he understands finance. I think that with the mayor's background in business and economics as well, they understand that this is the right time to buy money, to borrow money, to build our capital base here in Mount Vernon, to improve our capital project. So as a result, I think that we definitely need to make sure that these men are in position for the next 4 years to move the city forward.